Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 here in Memphis, and all you folks in Brownsville on 1520 and 95.3, and of course in Jackson on News Talk 101.5. We appreciate Brody Swisher, who is coming to Germantown Baptist Church as their featured speaker at the Germantown Baptist Church Outdoor Expo next Saturday. I didn't want to mention it, but Brody's coming back again to speak at Piperton. I just didn't want to tell Germantown that they've got the guy that's coming twice. His fee for doing it may be different at each church, I think. So, hey, we got the man on with us right now that's almost a regular because he knows how much I love buck knives. And I've lost my little buck 18 times, and it keeps falling back out of my pocket somewhere. So
I'm glad I was behind you to pick them up.
Yeah, and then, of course, he's donated a couple of really nice prizes for the two wild game dinners I'm speaking at, and so I appreciate him doing that. But let's talk knife with C.J. Buck. Good morning, C.J.
Hey, good morning, Larry.
A lot of things have changed since maybe we last talked. You guys keep coming out with something new. Now, we talked about the plant's been expanded, right? I mean, 130,000. What's the square feet of this facility? Yeah.
We're about 120 odd thousand.
Wow.
It's a third smaller than our factory that we had down in California.
Really?
Before we moved up to Idaho. But it's so much more efficiently laid out up here. We knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
That we got more manufacturing space out of this facility than we had in California.
Well, I know you're going to get the advantage of whatever you're going to come up with, but and you also come up with some new products. Some that you just partnership with a guitar company. You explain that to me, huh?
Well, that is the Ebony Project. It's a project with Taylor Guitars.
Yeah.
We're using scrap wood that they had left over. So when they make their acoustic guitars, the wood is crucial to the sound of guitar. So they've taken a real interest in partnering with a little village in Africa to forest manage to create a sustainable harvest of this ebony that they need. Making sure the villagers get benefit from that, and then we're benefiting from using real sustainable wood. Like we used to back in the 60s when we introduced the 110, it was real ebony.
Wow.
We were doing a resin-impregnated birchwood for a long time. Now we're going back to real wood, the most sustainable, replenishable thing on the planet.
Well, I'm looking at, I know not only that, but they've also, you're going into, cutlery or wedding things or?
We're doing a lot of things. So
you really are.
We have a website. One of the things about owning a company, having a brand, is enjoying the direct interaction with customers.
Yes.
So on our website, we're trying to make these touch points where people can get onto the website and they can one-stop shop. They can order stuff with engraving, with special handles, and be it groomsmen's gifts, be it wedding knives, all those opportunities we can just make happen for people simply. Well,
I know once again this is a family operation. It's the amazing story. We tell it every time, but it is amazing because you are a fourth generation. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm my fourth generation. Yes, sir.
Fourth generation, and I know that your dad. Al? Was that your dad's Al?
No, my grandfather was Al. My dad was Chuck.
Chuck, okay, yeah. The grandfather was Al, and of course Hoyt Buck. That's the man that started all, right? I mean.
Yep. Yeah, that was my great grandfather.
And I look at these things, and man, I had no idea you went to Oral Roberts. Okay, yeah. I almost went there. Yep. I went to the University of Arkansas, but that was on my list as a band scholarship, and I said, look here, C.J. went to Oral Roberts. Okay.
It's funny. I've been going to Oral Roberts in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Had experienced my very first ice storm.
Yeah.
We didn't get many of those growing up in San Diego, California.
No, I don't think you did. But unless you watch, you may get some hailstorms like the golf course did the other day. But
yes, you can get those, but no ice storms.
And you did mention the Model 1 110 folding hunter.
The 110 folding hunter.
Now, and it started. How old is it? I mean, you still sell them, I know.
Oh, in 2014, we celebrated the 50th anniversary of that knife.
Wow!
So my grandfather introduced that knife in 1964. And it put us on the map.
It did.
A couple of years ago, we introduced that knife as a fully automatic version of that knife.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
The 110 Auto, and that's been amazingly successful.
Well, it looks
it's
like
fun.
Yeah, it looks like the one Crocodile Dundee uses, and when the guy says, "This is a real knife," when I tried to slow that down and see what brand they were attempting to.
That was a Western Bowie knife.
That's what it was. It was a Western Bowie knife and everything like that. Well, tell our listeners a little bit about the family history, because I think that's part of this whole interview here. Were you just considered with your name, you had to do what you're doing? I mean, a lot of folks, I didn't end up doing what my dad did, and I know other ones did. So how does that fit in, knowing these are fourth generations, and I'm assuming that we're looking to the future too. So talk a little bit about growing up in the Buck family.
So let me start by saying that just last week, I was in Salt Lake City at the Western Hunting Conservation Expo with my son, Josh.
Josh.
So the two of us were manning the buck booth in the Western Hunting Conservation Expo, and interacting with people, telling buck stories, handling warranty things, but just so a father-son manning a family business booth. It doesn't get any better than that. So from an overall family history, my great-grandfather started making knives in 1902 as an apprentice blacksmith.
1902. Yeah.
1902. So it was just a hobby. For most of his life,
I was just out of high school. I was just out of high school, 1902. All right. So it was a hobby, though. That's where it all started.
So in 1945, my grandfather had already relocated through the Navy to San Diego, California. Yep. So the Navy put him in San Diego. He loved it, stayed, raised his family of 4 kids, and his parents came to move in with him in 1945. So Hoyt and Al, father and son team, made knives together for only a few years before my great-grandparents both passed away. But that was enough. Up until that point, my grandfather was a bus driver. He'd never, ever made a knife in his life. That was his dad.
Bus driver. Okay. All right.
So they worked together for 2 years, 3 years. H.H. Buck and Son, Lifetime Knives. Their meme was, we're going to do the best we can, and if you're not satisfied, bring it back. We'll make it right.
That's right.
And that warranty continues on to this day.
It's just amazing when I think about it, and you know the name Buck. There's a lot of Bucks out there. There's Jack Buck. He was one of my favorites, as an announcer. And then I don't know if he had any Buck, part of his family was a member of the Buck family, but I've always wondered if Jack Buck with the St. Louis Cardinals was kin to you. And I guess I'm kind of afraid to go back to my ancestry, because I know I'll find somebody hanging on a tree.
We were crawling out from under rocks, as my dad would say.
That's right. All right, now, so right now, new for 2019, what we got?
Oh, we got a lot. So we've got.
You really do, yeah.
We've got one. We're introducing. Well, we're not introducing Cerakote, but we brought that process internal.
I know you did. Yeah.
And when we bring processes internal, we have a lot more control over the delivery and the quality. Two very important things. So I can talk a little bit about Cerakote. It's a ceramic bake-on paint.
That's it. Yeah.
And it has a surface lubricity, so it's a good bearing surface. It also protects against corrosion. So we're doing a lot of high-end tool steels that would tend to rust, and we can Cerakote them and make them very, very functional. Our whole Compadre series used to be this bake-on paint, and now we're switching all that over to the Cerakote because it's just a much more functional coating on the knives.
And I know you guys. Go ahead.
I was just going to say we have another little series I'm proud of. Is called the Sprint. It's
Sprint.
It's a ball bearing flipper.
It's a what?
It's called a ball bearing flipper. It's so smooth. It's unbelievably smooth because it's ball bearings on either side of the blade.
Oh.
So
okay.
when you push the blade open with one hand, see if you can hear this. You hear that click?
I heard the click. Yeah.
I'm playing with one right now.
All right. All right.
I'm sitting here at my my little desk at home playing with this thing, and it's super smooth. It's one-hand operation. People are going to love it.
So when will that be out, you think?
We introduced it at SHOT Show in Vegas.
Uh-huh.
So it's out now.
It's out now.
It's slowly getting out to retailers.
And it's called the what again? What's the name of it?
It's called the Sprint.
The Sprint, okay. All right.
Yeah, it's called the Sprint. It's the model 842, 841, and 840.
Wow.
And those are different levels of high-end handle materials.
Well, tell our listeners.
Versus lower end.
Yeah, we got to get out of here, and I appreciate you doing this. And stay out, just watch all the snow and drink your coffee, and be careful with that knife. They're sharp, you know.
Will do. Thank you, Larry.
Have you ever been cut by one of your own knives? I'm sorry, that's just a stupid question, but
I could tell you a quick story. I was playing with a knife in a booth at a show, and I closed the knife on my finger, and I pinched it so hard I snipped the tip off of my little finger.
Oh my!
I mean, that sounds worse than it turned out to be. But
that's a good enough story for me. Yeah, I'm sticking to
TMI.
just like a cigar cutter.
I got you. All right. Thank you, CJ. Always good to talk to you again, buddy. Stay in touch.
All right,
anything we can do for you here in Memphis. All right.
All right. Good luck at your dinner, man.
All right. Thank you, man. All right. Let's take a break. Come right back and close it out with the one and only Alan Peterson, who's another one of the TWR people that are just retired. We'll be right back.